Bryson DeChambeau has been the face of LIV golf since 2022. He sacrificed his reputation, filed an antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour, and became the villain of professional golf. But now, with the Saudi billions gone, the league crumbling, and his contract expiring, he has finally made a decision that changes everything. The two-time U.S. Open champion has dropped a huge statement about his future, and the golf world is in shock. Bryson DeChambeau joined LIV Golf in June 2022 on a reported $125 million contract that expires at the end of the 2026 season. He was one of the first big names to defect, and he quickly became the face of the Saudi-backed revolution. But when Saudi Arabia's public investment fund announced it would withdraw its funding at the end of the 2026 season, everything changed. The league that had promised guaranteed money and a revolutionary format was suddenly fighting for its survival. DeChambeau admitted he was blindsided. "I was completely shocked," he said. "I didn't expect it to happen. A couple months before that, it's like, we're here until 2032. We've got financing until 2032, and so I told everybody, and that's what I was told." His contract was set to expire at the worst possible time. He was reportedly seeking a lucrative new deal, but the funding collapse made that impossible. The man who had been the face of the Saudi-backed revolution was now facing a future he never expected. When asked about his future, DeChambeau delivered a bombshell that has the golf world demanding answers. "I'm in that weird space right now. I don't know what to do either," DeChambeau admitted. "Content creation or professional golf. I don't know what to do right now." He made it clear that a return to the PGA Tour isn't guaranteed, and it's not entirely up to him. "I think there's a way to solve any problem," DeChambeau told Scratch. "It's really about whether the membership wants me back and whether they just want me back. That's what it's about. I don't even think it's Brian Rolap or anybody like one of the top executives. It's really if the players want me back, and if not, then I understand that." The statement was a direct challenge to the PGA Tour establishment. DeChambeau was essentially saying, it's not up to the commissioner. It's not up to the executives. It's up to the players. The man who had been the face of the rebellion was now putting his fate in the hands of his former rivals. The reaction from PGA Tour players was swift and brutal. "If you want to be the most competitive golfer you can be, this is the place to be. And if you don't want to play here, I think that says something about you," said Rory McIlroy, without calling DeChambeau out by name. Others were not as subtle. "Some people need to just not talk," Lucas Glover said when asked about DeChambeau's desire to have tour members want him back. Adam Scott was more pragmatic. "That's not really how it works," the Australian said. "You decide if you want to play here, and you qualify, and you play. It doesn't matter what other people think." Billy Horschel expressed the frustration of many players. "It doesn't sit well with a lot of players when they see the comments that he could help the PGA Tour out and that the tour isn't doing well and we're losing tournaments. I think a lot of players, the majority of players, that doesn't sit well with them. It doesn't sit well with me." The message was clear. DeChambeau had burned too many bridges, and the players weren't ready to forgive. DeChambeau has a backup plan that doesn't involve the PGA Tour at all, his YouTube channel. With over 2.69 million subscribers and nearly 580 million total views, he has built a massive following on the platform. "If we don't find a solution, for me, I think it's really enticing," DeChambeau said. "From my perspective, I'd love to grow my YouTube channel 3 times, maybe even more. I'd love to do a bunch of dubbing in different languages, giving the world more reason to watch YouTube. And then I'd love to play tournaments that want me. The threat is real." DeChambeau has already built a $10 million mansion in Texas where he films content, including viral videos of him hitting golf balls over his property. He's co-launching Source Golf, a digital network with Grant Horvat and the Bryan brothers. He's already said that doing YouTube full-time and playing the majors via exemptions is an incredibly viable option. If a return were not possible, I'd focus on YouTube, DeChambeau has said, and then I'd love to play tournaments that want me. The man who was once the villain of the PGA Tour is now the man the Tour can't afford to lose. DeChambeau's potential return to the PGA Tour is complicated by the fact that he was one of the original plaintiffs in the antitrust lawsuit against the Tour. He was the last to remove himself from it. The animosity runs deep. The returning member program was designed specifically for Koepka, DeChambeau, Jon Rahm, and Cam Smith in a narrow window, and only Koepka agreed to the terms. Koepka paid a $5 million charitable donation, accepted severe restrictions, and gave up equity in the Tour for 5 years. DeChambeau, Rahm, and Smith all said no. The door that was open for Koepka may be closed for them. PGA Tour CEO Brian Rolap has made it clear that any returning LIV player will face harsher terms than Koepka's deal. DeChambeau's role in the lawsuit makes his path back even more complicated. The man who helped tear the PGA Tour apart is now begging for forgiveness, and the Tour isn't making it easy. Despite the obstacles, DeChambeau is not backing down. He's made it clear that he believes the two circuits need to work together. The egos need to get dropped, DeChambeau said. Everybody needs to come in with a level-headed playing field with an opportunistic mindset to grow the game of golf. That's why I came over here. That's why I do what I do on YouTube. He also suggested that the PGA Tour could learn from LIV's model. If we have a great business model and they're very interested in combining forces, that's the combine moment, right? DeChambeau asked. I think it requires a little bit of everybody kind of just lowering their guards and all coming together and going, okay, what's best for the game of golf? The man who was once the face of the rebellion is now the face of the rescue mission. Bryson DeChambeau has dropped a huge PGA Tour statement after the LIV chaos. He has admitted he doesn't know what he wants to do, put his fate in the hands of the players, and threatened to focus on YouTube if the Tour won't have him. The questions now are impossible to ignore. Will the players welcome DeChambeau back? Can the PGA Tour afford to let him walk away to YouTube? And what does his journey say about the future of professional golf? One thing is certain, the battle is far from over, and the golf world will be watching every move.